Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson here. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored, where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We are very, very excited today. We've got a special guest. We've got some questions to answer. Greg is feeling good. He just got off of a Facebook Live. My co-pilot, the junior grandmaster himself. Greg, what's up today?
Matt, what's up, man? You know what? I got to do another Facebook Live. I'm doing these things every single day. So if you guys are not friends with me on Facebook, do yourselves the biggest, favor on planet God's green earth. Become a friend of mine on Facebook. You will get to hear my voice more and more, which means Matt doesn't have to listen to me more and more, which makes us all a happy camper. But you know what? We're going over all kinds of just really cool techniques and stuff. I'm picking a new topic every single day. I go live. I try to keep them short, which for me is about 35 minutes. Depends on the topics. But I want you guys out there and hanging with me. This is content you're not going to get if you are on the podcast, because Matt doesn't want to talk to the public about different things that I want to talk about.
Oh, that's not true. How dare you accuse me of that, Greg? We talk about everything you want to talk about. You want more FaceTime by yourself.
I don't want my FaceTime time by myself. I love having you on camera with me. But I think you don't want to talk to the general public in regards to real estate, right? You're
That's
like, no,
not true. As we were just discussing before we went off the air. So for those that don't know, if you have an Android device, as I do, you may have to completely uninstall and reinstall the Facebook app in order to get the Facebook Live option to pop up. So now that I have figured that problem out, and I have the ability to go live on Facebook from my phone, I will be doing so because I want some FaceTime without you, Greg. Taking a picture. All right. So let's bring in our special guest, and then we'll answer maybe a question or two off the Facebook group and get the old juices flowing, and then we'll get into the specifics of her business and what she does best, and some educational things that she can share with us all that we can learn from. So just want to welcome special guest Melinda Elmer. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. So give everybody just a 60-second kind of catch up on where you're at, what your market is like, and what the types of clients that you work with.
I'm located in Long Beach, California, and I'm with Century 21 Masters here. And we have a pretty hot market right now, very much a seller's market, only about a 2.5-month supply of inventory. And right now, we're really helping a lot of people move from a smaller home to a bigger home. Or downsizing. It's a great opportunity for people to do that, and our inventory is growing a little bit. We'll see that continue to grow through June, and then it'll start to taper off again.
So, Melinda, we're in Long Beach. I used to live over in Pedro.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah, I used to live right off of Gaffey. Great area over there. Do you ever go down to, what is it, the fish market on Sundays and take advantage of all that good, fresh crab and everything else?
Absolutely. It's delicious.
Oh, my God, dude. I love that area over there. I miss Long Beach. I miss Pedro. I got to get back out there.
Come on out.
Okay, cool. Actually, Matt and I are going to be down there in September for CAR. So hopefully you'll be at CAR. We'll be able to meet you face-to-face.
Excellent. Yeah.
Well, cool, guys. So while we wait, we've got people joining us and watching us live already. Just want to thank you so much. We were a couple minutes late because I screwed up for once, so I'm not perfect. Greg's like, finally, I have something I can hold over. I know. I'm like clockwork. I got the link to you, Greg, like right on the dot, and then I completely screwed the pooch on getting the link to Melinda. So anyway, that's why we went late. So if you're watching this live, thank you, and if you're not watching this live, shame on you. But thank you for stumbling across us on YouTube, and make sure to subscribe here. And then if you like the audio version, nestled right here between your ears where we so belong, make sure to head to iTunes and Stitcher and subscribe there. And so we're going to take a couple questions from lead gen scripts and objections, and then we'll get into it. So there was a couple that caught my eye. So actually, Aaron Wittenstein, the guy that founded the group, posted this morning just asking the group kind of what verbiage do you use for a listing appointment? Do you call it a listing consultation, a listing appointment, or a listing presentation? And I pitched this question to Greg before we went on the air, and he had a really interesting response, so I'd like to cover that first.
Okay, so what I do, guys, when it's a listing appointment or a listing consultation, for me, what I do is I tell myself it's a listing appointment and I tell the client it's a listing consultation, because when I say a listing appointment for myself, it means an appointment. It's immovable. It's something I cannot wiggle out of, because for whatever dumbass reason most agents want to get out of actually making money, But I also then say listing consultation to the prospective seller, because it's not binding. It's more of an advisory role, so that they view you as a consultant and as someone that's not trying to just sell them and just get them to do something right then and there. It's just slight verbiage change, guys. I know it's like it might not make a lot of sense, but it trust me, it works like a charm when you talk to these people and say, Matt, Julie, you're 3 obese, 15, 12-pound babies. I'd like to come on over and just do a nice listing consultation with you, Matt and Julie, and she's feeding them, abundant amount of food in the background. Says it'll be okay for me to come on over. And then I hang up and I tell my team, and I say, hey guys, we got a listing appointment set up for blank. Now, not a listing consultation. So that's what I do.
Well, and that goes along with the fact that your listing process is twofold. So when you're setting, so the initial appointments, it literally is just a consultation because you're going out there previewing the home, kind of talking a little bit about your marketing, but then it's the second appointment where you come back and make more of the presentation anyway, right?
Right, but you can't, today I went out to a house in Lafayette, which is a really nice city here in the area. You do not think of farms when you think of Lafayette, okay? And if I was to go out there and try to pitch them on the value of their home, I would have been so far off the market, it wouldn't have been funny. It's a straight-up farm, dude. Emus, cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, ducks, geese, 4 dogs, 12 cats, and a partridge in the pear tree. And I'm forgetting about the horse and the bull, too. And I'm not kidding either. It's a rescue farm, but these things like falling apart, there's no way I could have given evaluation. So that's an example of why you need to do a 2-step so that you can actually see what you're comping. You can't guess this shit.
Interesting. Yeah, it depends on your market, but yeah, it definitely does help if you know that going in. If you do 1-step. So Melinda, same question to you. So let's go into first, just tell us kind of what your phrasing is, and then how do you handle your listing process? Is it like a 1 or is it a 2-step like Greg?
I follow a lot of what Mike Ferry teaches, and so I guess in general I call it a listing appointment if I'm talking to my staff and things like that. But I call it a listing presentation because for me it feels like, hey, it's showtime. I'm going to do this really professional presentation and come in and meet with them and go through it. So for me, I guess I use the term presentation when I'm talking to them.
Yeah. And your goal is to take it on the first. You really want to set that appointment up so that you're taking and you're presenting and you're hopefully walking out of that very first appointment with a signed contract, right?
Right. Yeah. And before I go on the appointment, I pre-qualify them and ask them a lot of questions up front so that I get all the information. And obviously, if I walk in and it's totally different from what they described to me, then I'm going to have to make adjustments. But or you say, you know what, this is totally different than what you told me. I'm going to have to come back and reevaluate based on what I've seen here today. But 90% of the time, I can walk in there and do it right up front.
Yeah, it's especially in the if you're in the Midwest. There's not a lot of surprises. You may occasionally you'll run across an address where you think it's in a subdivision, and you get there and it's a farm that was built 50 years ago and it's grandfathered in, so it sits right outside the subdivision or something. Every once in a while you run across an oddball like that where it's a farm inside the city limits, but especially in the Midwest, everything is so cookie cutter. You really know before you head in there. You can get to their house and adjust your pricing estimate on the fly, and you're usually within $5,000 either way, regardless of the condition of the house. So
yeah, and here in this area we don't see that as much. We see in Long Beach it's much more diverse. You might have $1 million home next to a $300,000 home next to a $500,000 home. So you do have to know the market very well and be out previewing homes and seeing what's out there. Different if you go to Irvine and every other house is the same. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, so true.
Well, that brings up, there was another question that caught my eye that actually goes really well with this because there's a guy that Jim Steele posted this morning. So he says he's got a tough one. He's listing a home. This is in Florida. It's in kind of the Tampa Bay area. So he says he listed a home in a community with a small private airport, and the house that he's listed actually has a hangar attached to it. So he's asking, has anybody ever marketed a property like this? He's got 90 days to sell or he gets nothing. So he's on the clock. So Greg, how would you handle that?
I would probably call John Travolta and see if he's looking in the market for another house. I don't know if you guys actually know this. I saw a photo of his house the other day. It actually has literally 2 hangars on either side. One for his G5 and then one for his 737. No joke. Right. If you guys are listening, I'm not. You think I'm lying to you, Matt? Would I ever lie to you?
No, it's just a slight exaggeration from my home, which just has 1 hangar where I keep both planes.
Well, you don't have a helipad in the back? I do. No helipad?
Well, it's on the roof. Come on, I'm not a barbarian. It's on the roof now.
You're so working class, Matt. Gosh. No, honestly, what I would do is, if John isn't in the market for another house, I would actually go to LinkedIn, and I would look for any groups that are aviation based. Post the information in there. I would go to Meetup group, meetup.com. Go to aviation meetups and see if you can post it in there. See if anyone's interested in that. Property. I'd go to air shows if they're around and maybe hand out stuff, put stuff on car windows, whatever. Just kind of out of the box. If you got to hustle, you got to hustle, right? So that's kind of what I would do. I go a little old school, a little new school, but I would definitely go or base it around the whole plane side of it. Maybe even go to the little airport right around the corner from the home and seeing if you can post to their Facebook or do a video with them and talk about the area and the people that are landing there, and maybe put a flyer at the desk. I mean, that kind of stuff. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Melinda, how would you handle that?
Boy, and we have properties here with boat slips and things like that, but that's a little bit more common of occurrence. So
yeah, water.
Yeah, exactly.
Airplane hangars. If we had a place big enough for an airplane hangar, it would be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking you can also take that another direction, right, Greg? So you can go super deep on the plane owners. You can even go to Facebook and run Facebook ads to people that either say they own a plane or that are likely to move, which is one of the comments that somebody put back on the group. But you could also go and you could look up the manufacturers of the types of planes that would fit in whatever hangar that person has on their property. Yeah. And go target Facebook by area according to the brands of the planes that they like. You could also go to the associations that are made for people that fly those specific types of planes. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you could do there. Or you could look at alternate uses of the plane hangar. Like at the end of the day, it's just a big warehouse, right? So who better wants a like an outbuilding than someone that wants the ultimate man cave, or someone that wants a recording studio on the property,
or making beer.
Wood shops, yeah.
Wood shops, yeah, exactly. So would anybody that's like a hobbyist, would love a giant outbuilding like that. So there's other ways that you can think creatively and market to people and present it in different ways it can be used.
You can also on Facebook, if you want to stay with the planes guys, go and look at people with any certain radius that have X, Y, and Z net worth, that would be able to afford a plane like that, and then put a directed Facebook ad out to them talking about this property. Therefore, you're zeroing in on your potential prospects, and you'll be able to get maybe hopefully a direct response.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Florida is interesting because they've also got a pipeline to different cities, like on the East Coast and in the kind of the Rust Belt, like Cleveland. So there might be a potential there to target people that own and that are high net worth in East Coast cities like New York, Boston, Pittsburgh, or whatever that probably have or would like to have a vacation home in Florida, and maybe they might be another good potential target for Facebook, especially if they are also a plane owner. That would be a good one. So yeah, all kinds of fun stuff you can do with that one. So hopefully he gets that and comes up with some fun stuff. So what do you say we give a couple of shout outs and then we'll talk more about Melinda's business?
I would love to, man. I got so many amazing people I got to give a little what up for right now.
Okay.
What?
All right. You want to go first? You want me to go first? Or you're not exactly jumping in here?
Usually you like to go first, pal, so I'll take the steering wheel on this. All right. So on Monday night, I had an amazing conversation with Maya. Dude, Maya, what an awesome opportunity to get some time with you. I loved talking with you. I know what we talked about is going to just kick some ass and take some names for you, and I'm super pumped. Stay in touch with me. I want to know how it goes. And then Adriana's a phenomenal young woman I got to speak with last night. Matt, she works just a little bit north of me in more of a military-based area, and she's a cosmetologist and a real estate agent. So we put together a kick-ass setup for her to just go out there and just start slaying it when it comes to blending those two businesses together, starting to do some Facebook Lives and some other stuff. And then Annette, I get to talk with her tonight. Oh, man, she hit me up. We are already messaging back and forth. She's pumped. I'm pumped. It's just going to be a ridiculous blast. And then a shout out to all the people that I can't name all in the short amount of time that you guys are hitting me up on Facebook, asking me questions. Keep it coming, guys. I love this stuff. Please don't stop. I'm a little stressed out, but I like the stress. So keep making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, there've been a lot of comments on YouTube as well. So we try to get to all those, and we try to reply. Obviously, give us some leeway. There's only 2 of us, but we always try to get back to you within a day or 2 if we can't like respond immediately. So.
Well, Matt, I get back within about at least an hour or 2.
You try. Well, sometimes messages come in like through the Facebook page or to our YouTube channel on various videos, and sometimes those take a little bit to get back to. So just calm down. All right. So for my shout-outs, just want to quickly thank Viral Marketing for helping make podcasts and hangouts like these happen. They are awesome. They run Greg's real estate video blog, and then Melinda, you have a real estate video blog for Long Beach too, right?
I do. Yeah, you can get to it on www.melindaelmer.com.
Perfect. Yeah, so if anybody wants to have something like that done for them to get more referrals and repeat business from their database, make sure to check out Viral. It's getviral.com. Remember, Viral with a Y. And then if you are looking to build a team, a dominant real estate team, make sure to check out Jeff Cohn's team building workshop. You can go to eliterealestatesystems.com, go to the workshops page to check him out. We just got back from doing his workshop on the road in Ottawa, Canada. That went really, really well. And if you'd like to either come and attend at his office in person in Omaha, you can do that, or if you're interested in having him come and speak, you can get in touch with your broker and get in touch with me, Matt at pursuingresults.com, and we can help set that up for you guys. And just want a quick thank you to the gentleman who bought our farming training video product. Greg, he's a connection of yours from back in the day.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know him. He graduated in '77 from Monte Vista High School, which is right around the corner. So he graduated high school, and I wasn't even a thought in my parents' mind.
Okay. So I thought this was someone you knew, like you said he went to a rival high school.
He did.
I thought that meant that he was a contemporary of yours. Apparently I misunderstood.
You misunderstood. But it's okay. Still get a shout out, dude. He's a great guy. He's up in Pacific Northwest. He's going to start watching our product, guys. Go check out our farming product. It's $99. You get 10 hours of content. And Matt and I are on demand, literally. You don't have to wait for anything. It's just boom, play, and go back and rewatch or listen and anything. Give us your thoughts on it too. After you guys buy it, just give us your thoughts and see if it's anything that if you found value in it. We'd love to hear feedback.
Yep, that's right. And you can get to that through McDanielRealEstateSystems.com and the link for the farming training video course. So with that said, Melinda, let's get into it. There's a couple things that I wanted to ask you about that you kind of specialize in and are good at. And let's start with the double moves, because you mentioned that right off the bat. You got people that are wanting to upgrade. You got people that are looking to downsize. They're all within kind of the same general market, so you end up working with them on both transactions. So probably the first question that springs to my mind is when you are signing up for the listing side of it, are you getting hammered on the commissions, and how are you making sure that you're maintaining good commissions on both sides when you're helping them out with both transactions?
Well, as far as that, I pretty much always take listings at 6%. Right. So, if we're going to have anywhere we have to budge, it's usually on the other end of things. So I want to lock in the house that I'm selling first and make sure that we're doing the best job that we can and offering that full amount so we attract the best buyers to their properties as well. And if they ask me about that, I just basically explain that to them so that they understand that really they're hurting themselves by discounting the commission offered to the other side.
Yeah, are you kind of using the script where you take your part of the commission off the table and then you focus on, okay, if you don't want to give them X, what are we going to give to the buyer's agent in order to get them to bring somebody to us?
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I mean, my fee is 3%, so if they're going to offer less to the other side, well, then they're really hurting their exposure, and we don't want to do that because most people are not selling as many homes as they would like. So they're obviously going to maximize what they can sell and take their clients to the people who are getting 3% first. So, yeah.
Yeah. Are you charging any fees on either side in addition to the commission?
I have in the past. I am not currently doing that. I ended up with some battles with corporate in the past with it, and I just haven't gotten back in the habit of re-adding those back in. But I have charged transaction fees in the past, yes.
Cool.
So you take like the $395 or whatever it is from the TC's side, and you would pass it on to the clients?
Right, you can take that, and I've done that in the past where I charged a $395, $495 transaction fee, which was my transaction coordinator fee, and they add that on top. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I started to create a lot of problems because the lenders would tell the clients that that wasn't something that was a valid charge and a junk fee or things like that, and so it started causing a lot of problems, and I decided at that time it wasn't worth it. I would probably add it back in. I just have gotten out of the habit. I've been doing it for so long without it. So
it's true when you get into a habit in this industry, it's just like, well, why am I going to move on? It just keeps the same thing.
You have to create a new habit and start doing it again. So yeah.
Well, cool. Well, so on the listing side, so when you're taking these listings, is there anything that you feel like you do differently that's working really well to either present value to the seller so that you don't have to lower your commission, or just flat out things that are working well to get homes sold and attract more buyer leads?
One of the things that I've really focused on this last year is increasing my presentation skills. So really working on my scripts, my objection handlers, knowing the inventory, getting out and previewing properties so that I know what it is that I'm presenting. And it makes a difference when you really sound like you know what you're doing, you're confident, you are dressed professionally, you are coming in with a good presentation, and you control that presentation. It just kind of makes it a no-brainer for them. Instead of walking in and fumbling around with my papers and being unsure, all of those kinds of things cause doubt in the mind of the seller. And that's when they start to ask you to cut your commission, and that's when they start to have doubts and fears about your ability to sell their biggest asset. So really polishing my game, really upgrading all of my scripts, dialogues, everything, my presentation, has made a huge difference.
That's awesome. Okay. Greg, did you have anything to interject there before I had a question, but go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when it came to, shuffling the papers and, when did that come, when did you figure out that was a big problem for you? When did you have that aha moment going, oh crap, if I do this, and this step, I'm getting hit with a commission, but if I don't do that, they're not hitting me with that. Was that like right off the bat? Was that something you learned after you lost a couple $100,000 in commissions? I mean, when did you really learn that?
I think it really, I don't know, just over the years, I've been in business for almost 15 years now, and my closing ratio has just slowly been increasing. But this last year, a big focus has been put on with my business coach on working on presentations. So I really saw that I could improve on that presentation skill, and that I was doing the motions of it. But it's like going to watch community theater versus watching a Broadway play, right? They're using the same script, but they're working their day job and they're doing other things, and they come in and read the script or do the script, but it's not as skilled, it's not as polished, and they're not making any money for it either. But you go to a Broadway play and they're making a lot more money. They're they rehearse for hours and hours and hours, and they spend time outside of rehearsal practicing. So I figure I want to become like that Broadway star, where I am going to take that to the next level, or that big movie star that they're practicing, rehearsing, and honing their skills all the time. And so it wasn't necessarily something, hey, I shuffled this paper so I lose the commission. It's hey, I'm doing the motions of the script, but am I doing it to its fullest potential? And I realized, no, I was not.
So are you a part of any kind of scripting groups, or just kind of do you have someone as a sounding board? Do you record yourself, on an audio recorder, and then listen to your intonations and your voice patterns and everything else? Is that how you got better, or is it just trial and error?
Yeah, that's part of it. I do live role plays, listing role plays within another agent in my office weekly. I also do daily role play and script practice, either half hour to an hour each day as well, and spend that time with another agent, usually another agent I know from somewhere else in the country that I've met at different events, and we do script practice together. And then I do some other chanting, things like that, reading my script out loud. I go to workshops and classes to improve it, and then I always have my script there in front of me too, so those occasional mind blanks. Hey, it's
brain fart. You're like, ah.
Right there.
Yeah, that's one of the best things. So you literally are becoming the Broadway actress, in your field, because you're putting the time and energy behind it. A lot of people think that there's an easy button to this, and all you have to do is read a script once and you got it down pat. Well, they're full of what, and and they really need to really hone into it. So let's say we're talking to a new agent right now, right? And they want to get going, but they're intimidated. what would you say would be a very small dosage but a very good amount of time on a daily basis to practice, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 30 minutes? And what script would you start with, buyers or sellers?
I mean, in general, when I first started in this business, I was role-playing for 2 hours every day and practicing scripts for 2 hours every day.
That's awesome.
Now, I was also practicing with the people that I was talking to, because I do a lot of phone prospecting, and at the time when I first started, I also did a lot of door knocking. So, you know, I was also practicing all day long on all the people that I was talking to. They didn't know I was practicing, but I was. So you might as well practice a live person, right?
That's awesome.
And in the beginning, my closing ratio was maybe 20, 25, 30%. Now my closing ratio is 85%. Wow. So, but in the beginning, when I spent that 2 hours a day working on my scripts, it made me really jump up. And there was a period of time where I kind of thought, oh, I'm doing fine. I don't need to practice as much, and I would maybe role play an hour a week. Maybe. And I really noticed a drop off during that time. I just got rusty, and I wasn't doing as much conversion at that point. So, you know, about 2 years ago, I got back into the habit of really practicing those scripts again every day. And last year I had my best year ever. So
that's awesome.
You know, it continues to grow. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something that, and just if you're working in any type of job where you're getting paid for your knowledge and your skill, you know, any type of information type work, we completely underestimate how important it is to actually practice the thing that it is that we do, because we end up doing it for 40 hours a week. We never spend time practicing, so really we don't get any better at it, and we think that's okay because we're just coasting. But I mean, I was just reading, it was a good refresher because I just read this the other day. There was a great book called Managing the Professional Service Firm, and the guy that wrote it like took stock of himself and his own career at one point and realized that he himself, even though he was making really good money in consulting, his skills were deteriorating. Like he was just as good as he was 10 years ago, but even his current skill level was continually, you know, like it wasn't improving, so it's declining. And the demand for that level of skill always depreciates over time too. So you have to look at your, like he points out that you look at your level of knowledge and skill like any other asset. It depreciates over time unless you actively work to expand it.
Well, yeah, you have to work in your business and on your business. So in your business is the daily grind. It's the doors, the calls, the follow-ups, the prospecting, the social media, yada, 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 right? Then on your business is going to be the running the scripts, reading, you know, blogs, you know, watching our podcast religiously and never turning us off because we are so full of good content. I mean, that's a required thing, Matt. Did you hear that NAR just wrote up an article about us, and they're going to say that it's mandated by law to listen to this the Real Estate Uncensored every day for every real estate professional?
Great.
I thought it was fantastic.
Should make the viewership go up slightly.
No, just but all joking, I mean, go to Mike, go to Tom, go to Brian, you know, all these different coaches. They're putting out free content, guys. Absorb it on a daily basis. Get on their mailing lists. Go talk to top producers like Melinda and see if you can run scripts with them in your area, or maybe reach out to her and, you know, maybe do it if you're in New York, New Jersey, Florida, wherever you are. Reach out to the best in the business, because if you reach out to lesser than that, you're going to get lesser than that. And she is a fine... she's a honed-in, finely tuned machine on getting this done. So why not learn from her? Why not pick her brain? Maybe you could be a referral source for her from your marketplace. You never know how you can repay her. Melinda, I just totally volunteered all your time.
That's right. Hey, so Melinda, how many listing presentations are you going on in your average week?
Last week I did 5 listing presentations.
Holy crap.
So how are you, like, where do you fit in the time to go and preview the homes, and what are you looking for, and what's your average time kind of spent in a home to preview it?
I preview really fast. So, I mean, maybe I'm in the house 3-4 minutes at most. You know, I've been in enough houses out there in the last 15 years that I don't need to spend time looking, ooh, look at the granite, you know. It's granite, okay, next. Right.
I don't know that I like that particular fleck of gold in that specific granite countertop.
Right. So, the idea is to get a general impression of what the house is and go on to the next one.
Okay.
So, so previewing, it doesn't take that long. The goal is to see 5 houses in a day, and I can see 5 houses easily in an hour. So if you take, if you're a newer agent and you're looking at what to do, I mean, you can prospect all day long, and then you can, preview houses, and you can practice your scripts. Because you're probably not going to be going on 5 appointments. You're not going to be negotiating deals. You're not going to be doing those other things. So, I mean, that's basically what you could fill your day with. As you get busier, obviously, I have to be more efficient. I have to schedule my day and be really strict on my schedule. I mean, somebody told you, and get into real estate, you get freedom, but I definitely work probably 10, 12 hours a day on a regular basis. So, I fill those days with appointments, previewing, lead follow-up, and prospecting.
So guys, I mean, Melinda's, if you guys aren't picking up what she's laying down, one, she's saying don't be a slacker and think that just because you work for yourself, it's going to be easy and you're going to be able to have your rent and mortgage paid for. You're wrong. Second off, she said something she said something very important in the very beginning there. And is when you're in the beginning of your business, career and relationship, you're not going to have the people to go talk to. You're not, okay? Don't take the rose-colored glasses off. Shit is real. You got to earn the business that you're going to get. So go and work on you. Run your scripts. Do your prospecting. Pull what Melinda did and go out and do the prospecting, practicing the scripts, going double down on your time. That will exponentially explode your growth pattern, and then spend time networking with other mentors in the area. I mean, the way you did it, no wonder you're so successful. I mean, you went and did the hard stuff, the unfun, unsexy, uncool stuff where you're sweating and tired and exhausted and sore by the end of it, and you built on that. 'Cause you have to start at the bottom of everything, right? Mm-hmm. You rose through the ranks because you're willing to put the time in, and that is what a quality agent does. So I hope I can do a deal with you.
That would be great.
So let's take it back. Let's do something fun and talk about how you got started door knocking and what your experience was like. And I know people are always fascinated by that topic. So let's talk about that for a little bit.
Well, the first time I went door knocking, I just took Mike Ferry Just Listed Just Sold script and went out and basically read it. And I remember the very first time I said, I'm going to go door knocking today. And I think I stood in my house for like an hour going, I'm going to go, because I was terrified. And I know a lot of people, when they are first going out door knocking, they're just terrified of going out and knocking on somebody's door, and all those like worst case scenarios are running through your head. But I think the first couple of people I'd knock on the doors, no one was home. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just keep going. I think the first person I talked to was really nice, and they gave me a ton of information about half the people in the neighborhood. And I started catching little old ladies, and I talked to them for like 30 minutes. So I had to learn to cut those off and say, hey, I gotta go.
Protect your time under all cost.
Right. But after I started doing it, I realized that nobody's gonna pull a gun on you, or all those thoughts that you're going through your head.
Unless you're in Greg's market.
I actually did get a gun pulled on me.
Maybe from the Midwest or somewhere. Yeah, or South, or who knows. But chances are good that's not going to happen. Right. And most people are very nice, and most people are really friendly. And especially when you go and you're not awkward. Again, practicing those scripts. I had my script on a clipboard right in front of me, so when I would see somebody, I go, I just look right down here. It's right here. I practiced it. I know what I'm supposed to say. So I can just read it and not have to freak out about making really awkward conversation. And all my scripts are question-based. So I'm asking questions, they're answering. I don't have to make stuff up. And if I've previewed around that area, then when people say, hey, did you see that house? I can say, yes, I did. So that helps a lot, too, and makes me seem more knowledgeable. Yeah.
Do you use the Ford script?
What's that?
Do you use the Ford conversation style, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, so that you can constantly, you always be asking questions about different segments of their life and drawing them out a little bit?
No, not necessarily. I usually, like I said, I use a straight up Mike Ferry script, which is, hey, how long have you lived at this address? Where have you where did you move from? How long have you, if you were to move, where would you go next? Questions like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it is all still house related, real estate related. Again, I'm trying to stay away from talking to little old ladies for 30 minutes. So they come up with that stuff on their own, and they tell me all their life story sometimes anyway. But
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But the ones who, mostly I'm there to find out if they're thinking about making a move at all, because usually we know that when one house sells, 2 more sell right away in an area.
So
drive
when you're
down the street and see that.
So when you're talking to Graham and she's sucking the life out of you, what's a really nice way to let Graham go on her own way and you can politely move on to the next house? People are always like, well, did I just armbar her and move on? I mean, what do I do? So what's the tactic for you?
Yeah, I'm a really, really nice person, so sometimes it's hard for me. But, I just say, I would love to talk to you more. I unfortunately have another appointment and need to get to the rest of the doors to make sure that everybody else here knows about this other house that I'm selling. So, why don't I get your name and number, and I'll give you a call later and we can chat more. What's your name and number?
That's awesome. You get her contact information and you get her out of the way. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Graham. Hello, buyer.
Bye, Graham.
Right.
Oh, Greg. Always so sensitive.
Oh, I do it with love and kindness and caring in my heart.
I'm sure you do. All right, so Melinda, on the listings that you have, obviously, if you're doing 4 to 5 deals a month, you've got a lot of listings that you're balancing, a lot of seller clients. I'm sure you're selling a pretty high percentage of your listings, so it's not like you have ones, you're not working with necessarily 15 or 20 clients at a time on the listing side. But how are you communicating with them during the listing process to make sure they stay updated and give a good client experience while you're focused on bringing in new business?
I schedule it. So, the key to being able to do more is scheduling everything. So in my schedule, every Wednesday afternoon, so after our call today, every Wednesday afternoon I call through all of my current clients, both my buyers and my sellers, and give them updates where we are, what's going on, and always ask them for referrals. So not only am I prospecting, but I'm also giving them updates, keeping them informed. And then most of the rest of the time, I do have a transaction coordinator and I do have an assistant. So I may have them make calls to them and give them additional updates, things like that. Or obviously if there's something more pressing, like an offer comes in, then I'm going to call them and give them more frequent updates. A lot of the other stuff is done through email if it's just a quick, hey, here's this information, so that I don't have to spend as much time going back and forth talking to them.
Yeah, and is your assistant packaging up information for you so that you can just call through everybody as efficiently as possible?
Yeah, she just gave me these are all my prospects for tomorrow that I have to call. So she gets everything ready so that I'm not doing all that administrative type stuff, and basically I just have to walk in and start my calls, and I don't have to set things up.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of agents, I don't know if struggle is the right word, but waste time on doing things like that, and they call it prospecting or they call it business building, when in reality it's very low-paid admin work that they could probably start outsourcing pretty quickly.
Yeah, but that's every other real estate agent on planet Earth, Matt. They want to get away from whatever they have to do. So if they're supposed to do something, I can do a $5 an hour opportunity versus a $500 an opportunity, but the $500 means I have to talk to people. Ew.
Creative avoidance.
That's right.
Creative avoidance. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, why would I want to put off to something tomorrow what I can start putting off right now?
Yeah, Matt, didn't you write the handbook on that?
No, I did not. Thank you, Greg. The handbook on procrastination? No. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Love you too, man.
Hey, man, nothing but love on this side too.
All right, so Melinda, you mentioned that you work with buyers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you kind of raised your price point? Do you cherry pick and the buyers that you work with now that you've got? Obviously you've been in business long enough that you probably don't have to necessarily work with buyers unless you really want to.
Yeah, I created, again, I've been really honing things this year, and one of the things that I did this year was really refine my buyer minimum standards.
Yeah.
So, I defined what all of those different things are that are minimums for me. And if they don't fit into that minimum, if I am making an exception, I really have to think about why that is. So for example, price point would be one of them. They have to come into the office and meet with me and do a consultation before I start running around and showing them houses. They have to be pre-approved. Most of the time it needs to be with one of my lenders. At very minimum, I have to talk to their lender and feel comfortable that they're going to work with me. If I'm going to fight them the whole time, they can go work someplace else, because I want to be in a working relationship with somebody, not a fighting relationship with the lender. And it's amazing to me how many of these lenders just fight me the whole way when, if they did a really good job, I might give them some business.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, what are you looking for in that conversation with a lender? What tips you off that they're going to be difficult to work with just in the initial conversation?
Well, for example, when I work with buyers who are looking to buy condos, I usually like to have the lender put together a little chart with me. Most buyers who are going to buy a condo are payment sensitive. So we know they don't want to spend more than, say, $2,000 a month. In some areas that might be a lot for a condo, but for here that's not that much. So let's say they want to spend no more than $2,000 a month. I'm going to have the lender put together a chart for me that says for a $300 a month HOA, it's going to be this payment, and for $200 HOA, it's going to be this part, and for a $500 HOA, it's going to be this amount. That way, we know what price brackets are. The buyers love it because it's really simple for them to understand, and we love it because it makes my job easier, and my staff who are doing the research can look at the chart and say, okay, this will work, this won't work, and it keeps them within their price budget.
Do you ever
so you're basically you're asking the lender to put in some work, and if they're not willing to do that for a potential buyer client, you kind of know right away they're looking to skate by with the minimum amount of work put in.
Right. I mean, it's a pretty simple request. It doesn't take that long to do that. But if they won't, or can't comprehend what I'm asking for this simple little chart, then I'm concerned that they're not going to be willing to work with me, or that they really don't, that they're really kind of just that 9-to-5 banker that works and just gets paid whether or not they are closing the deals or not. So yeah, if they're working for me and they're like, hey, you're sure I'll get that to you, and they actually do. Because some say they will and then they never get anything. So those are the ones that make big red flags for me and make me say, maybe I don't want to spend my time with this.
Or maybe the lenders, they don't pick up their phones.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you that. I call people and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this client, and it takes them 5 days to get back to me. Yeah, I'm going to refer them to one of my other lenders that I regularly work with. So
they're going to pick up the phone and go for it. When it comes down to getting a list of the different kind of total payments, including different HOAs and everything else, do you use Chicago Title by any chance down there? Do you use Fidelity or?
I've used all sorts of different ones. I usually use Orange Coast Title. I've used Lawyers Title. There's so many different companies, but yeah.
The reason I ask is that I think probably they all have this. I use Chicago up here. It's called they call it Chicago Title, Chicago 3.0. It's an app. I paid $4.99. And it can calculate all the payments and all that stuff and nets for sellers. And do you use that very much? I found it to be. My buyers and sellers love that stuff.
Yeah, I know Lawyers Title has one like that I have on my phone, and I guess that's part of the delegation aspect of what I'm trying to do is say, hey, look here. Not only does it kind of vet the lender and say, hey, give me the information, because I don't know what kind of interest rate they have. I don't know all of those other things. I don't know if they're paying PMI or not, or lender paid points. There's too many variables. I want to put that back on the lender to do their job and delegate that out and save me the extra effort of doing that. Sure, I can run a quick calculation on my phone and give a ballpark, but I want the lender to be on the hook for the actual numbers, and I don't want to be in trouble later on if we're off on our numbers.
That's a good idea. Make them work for their dang money. Man, those lenders have been sucking us dry for clients and money for too many years. Time to pay the piper, player.
I know. We should. Apparently we need to all move to Canada because I was talking to a mortgage banker up there, and he cuts checks for thousands of dollars to his realtor referral partners who send him business because they are allowed to.
Oh, we're going to Canada. Let's go to Calgary.
Yeah? Greg. No. Oh, my God. That's funny. All right. So that threw me off for a second, Greg. All right.
Zing!
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, Melinda, any parting? We've got just a few minutes left together. So, any parting advice for newer agents or agents that are kind of hitting the ground in a new market and starting their business up from scratch?
You know, I would say the biggest thing is protect your schedule. It's really easy to get into this business thinking that you have this freedom, and when you set yourself up like it's a business, you know, get to work at the same time every day. If you decide you want to work 8 to 5, then work 8 to 5. If you decide you're going to work 10 to 7 or whatever those hours look like, set those parameters and then do that. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't have to work 7 days a week. I certainly don't. I have Sundays off. I do generally work on Saturdays, but I don't work all day. I work really hard Monday through Friday so that I can enjoy my weekends and do fun things and stuff like that.
Wait, you have a life outside of real estate? Is that what you're saying? People can do that?
People can do that. And
oh my word!
Sell a lot of houses. But yeah, definitely protect your space. Don't start going to the grocery store at 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you're not supposed to do that. Go to the grocery store after work. Of course, every once in a while you're going to have doctor's appointments and things like that, but, if you're supposed to go to work, pretend you have a boss looking over you and saying this is what you're supposed to do during the day, and do it.
Well, your boss in your mind could literally be your family, your significant other, your goals. I mean, anything, since you don't have a boss, make your boss something that you want to make proud, either family, significant other, like I said, your dreams.
Or your clients.
Your dog, whatever.
I imagine, what would my clients think if they saw what I was doing right now? Would they be happy that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, or would they be upset that I wasn't working?
Oh, right? That is a great quote.
That just scared me. I'm like, get back to work, McDaniel.
Yeah, right. Who cracked a beer on our podcast a couple weeks ago? Yeah.
2 beers.
Two beers.
That's why it was the best podcast ever. It's so amazing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that's very good. So I guess one last question that I'm curious about, because we talked to, would you probably know Susan Heller down in Florida?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we talked to Susan, was it last Monday, I think? And she was talking about her prospecting schedule. She's another Mike Ferry influenced agent. She actually coaches personally with Mike. So I'm curious to know, like, what your prospecting schedule is like on your average day or average week.
My average day, I usually prospect from 8:30 until 11.
Nice.
That's awesome. Now, why did you choose 8:30 to 11? I'm very close with you, but a little bit different. What are you finding better engagement at the 8:30 mark, or what are you
doing, like role playing? I'm assuming.
Well, right now in our market, we don't have a lot of expireds. When we did have a lot of expireds, I was starting to call it 7:30 in the morning. Right now, I just have shifted my priorities a little bit, and I do about an hour of my role playing in the mornings. So I just started 8:30 because a lot of my business right now, 65% of my business last year came from past clients and center of influence. Mm-hmm. So I'm calling them a little bit later. They're usually on their way to work and things like that. I do still call some expireds. We just don't have as many. I can call all the expireds in about 10 minutes. So.
Nice. Yeah, not much, not a lot of depth there. Yeah, right. And I would imagine it makes a huge difference. I mean, I noticed this with myself. If I have to make a phone call that I don't want to make, it's a lot better when it's coming off of a bunch of other phone calls that I don't necessarily mind, or just something where you're talking to another human being and not just getting out of the bed in the morning and right away calling people that you don't necessarily want to talk to that much.
Right. Right.
Makes a huge, huge difference. Just getting into that mental groove and just getting moving, getting rolling, and talking to other human beings. Very good thing.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we say that a few more times?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very, very good to talk to human beings. Yeah. No, I was expecting you to give me a hard time about that.
Talk to people.
Talk to people.
I've given you enough shit in one podcast. I didn't want to lay it on. I actually held back, and I'm like, nope.
Did you? All right. I was waiting for it. That's why I was very confused when you didn't jump in and say something like that.
And they say something like, "What, Matt? You're talking to a human being? I can't even get you on the phone, and you're gonna talk to someone else." Now I'm just pissed. Something like that.
So for those that don't know, I structure my days thusly: Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
No human interaction.
No, it's the exact opposite. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are my days to do all my calls. I've got like podcast interview setup calls. I've got podcasts to record. I mean, I already recorded one with Jeff Cohn earlier today. I mean, I feel like I've been on the phone all day today. Tomorrow I have 0 phone calls. So Tuesday and Thursday are my days to actually get stuff done and move projects forward. So when Greg jokes about me not taking his calls, it's when he calls on a Tuesday or a Thursday and I'm getting stuff done.
Oh, hey, Matt, guys, everybody, I have a big announcement. Matt took his final test last night and he passed. Matt, I just want to tell everyone, congratulate you. You're now a level 2 McDaniel handler, and so he is now ready for the bigger and badder podcasts that are going to come down the road. So Matt, congratulations. I'm so proud of you for taking the test. I know it only took 5 times to pass, but I'm sure proud of you.
He's certified Greg Wrangler.
Yes, yeah. Level 2, man. That's big stuff.
All right. Well, Melinda, so if somebody wants to send you some referrals in Long Beach, we'd love to have some people do that for you. So where can they reach you?
They can reach me at melinda@theelmerteam.com. So MELINDA at the Elmer team, like Elmer Fudd, .com. Or they can reach me at 562-316-2915.
Perfect. That's awesome. Well, I just wanted to thank you real quick for joining us. This was fantastic. You had some great information to share, and hopefully, I think people, if they take away just that one thing about just thinking about what your clients would say if they knew what you were doing right now. If somebody really takes that to heart, it can potentially change their life and change their business.
Great. That would be great.
Yeah, it absolutely will.
All right, guys. Well, with that said, we'll wrap this one up. We've got another top interview coming up on Friday with Danny Batsalkin. So stay tuned Friday at 11 a.m. for that. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher based on whether you want the video or the audio versions. And then, Greg, how do people reach you for the McDaniel Challenge?
I was going to say, Matt, we didn't even do the McDaniel Challenge shout-out. Homeboy.
Yeah, we did forget about that, didn't we?
How do you forget about me so much?
I don't know. So how do people reach you?
They are going to call me on my handy-dandy little cell phone. I've shown it multiple times to you guys. It does work. I have paid my bill, so when you reach out to me, it will ring. Use these numbers, please, and use them. Do not jumble them. You will not meet me or call me if you jumble with just one number. It's up to you. Don't do this. So the numbers are 925-915-1978. 925-915-1978. On my next opening, Matt, check this out, dude. My next opening is May 18th.
Holy cow. You're booked for a month and a half?
Yeah, it is booked out, you guys. I am deadly serious. Get off your ass and call me. Because when you miss the opportunity to get a hold of me and really help you guys move through that next level, look, man, Jose, big pimpin' out of Long Beach, man, he and I are constantly in contact. Josh Bryan and I are constantly in contact. Neely, Beth, the list goes on and on that have taken the challenge and talked. Guys, each time I've been able to give them something that's unique to them, that gives them that different light about the business. And by the time most people get on the call with me, guys, and you're a little apprehensive, a little nervous, a little scared, you don't know what to expect, then we have a great conversation. I say, get a glass of wine, a beer, a cocktail, 1 or 2 of them, 3 of them, 10 of them, I don't care. Let's have some fun and get to know each other. People come off the call very excited. They're animated. They want to go out. They found some joy. They've been reaffirmed in what they're thinking is right. When they get on the call, they're very timid. So, guys, if you want that change, it costs you, bam, 0. So why not take me up on this thing? And if you think I'm excited now to talk to you, wait till you get on the flipping call. It's gonna. Trust me. I look forward to this shit every day. So call me, or Matt, or text.
And not me. That's not going to help if you call or text me. Call or text Greg to set up a call with Greg. Yeah. So anyway.
Yes, I agree. Wait, no, don't call me.
That's right.
After you just went on a tirade about how much you talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But calling me is not going to get an appointment with Greg. That's my point.
Actually, you could. You want to start making the appointments?
No, I'm not going to be your personal secretary, Greg. All right, with that said, just a quick thank you once again to Viral Marketing. Check them out at getviral.com. Check out eliterealestatesystems.com if you want to learn how to build a dominant real estate team. Check out the workshops there, and then check out the farming training video on our site, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. But that is all the time we have today, so we have exhausted our time.
No, they have to friend me on Facebook. You guys got to friend me on Facebook.
Yes.
Go to Greg McDaniel. I'm the guy wearing a black jacket with 2 beers in front of me going like this. Come on, you'll have a lot of fun and get all my Facebook Lives.
That's right, exactly. And you are actually broadcasting some good stuff.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, exactly. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you back here on Friday at 11 a.m. Until then, have a great, great rest of your week.
All right, guys. See ya.